Good morning, Bill Hodis with you today from the Ramsey County Extension Office. And oh my, what a beautiful, beautiful morning. Yesterday was so lovely. No wind hardly, or a little bit of wind, but not very much wind. This morning is just gorgeous. Fun to go outside, the birds are chirping, all that stuff. However, it's not so fun to go outside and not smell that fresh scent of a nice rain. Of course, we all are still needing some rain and hoping that might come. I see there's chances again for us on maybe Wednesday through Thursday or something. I don't just remember right now, but about that rain, and had it look like maybe a little more widespread. The tendency this spring, though, has been to predict some precipitation, and then by the time it gets to be a day away, for some reason it dried up and went somewhere else. So let's pray for a little rain, not only for our garden people, but also our farmers out there. We could all use some, get this whole thing going. I got several things to talk about today. Number one is I'm going to talk about the ash gall. Now you're going to say, what is that? And what that is, if you drive in a neighborhood, you'll see ash trees that got big clumps of like a black material on the smaller parts of the branches. They're just, you can't miss them if you see them. It kind of almost resembles something of a new tree, but what that is an ash gall, and it can affect the tree to the point to kill it. Now the two that I'm thinking about in particular are by side over on the east side of town, and really the only way that we can control this thing is if we would put down an insecticide at bud break. So in other words, when that leaf or that bud starts to open up, we could put a insecticide down and maybe get that little gall mite that affects the ash trees. Usually those kind of clear up, fall off after a couple of years, and the tree is okay. I just prematurely looked at the two on the east side of town, and I don't have a lot of faith in them coming back to a successful tree. I'm not suggesting to saw them down yet, but I'm just saying be careful with that. So again, ash gall. If you see a tree with a bunch of black, dark gray clusters about the size of a softball, kind of baseball, that's what that is, and it's created by a mite attacking the bud and bud break. Next I'd like to talk about is watering trees, and of course we look at our trees in our neighborhood, they look okay, don't they? Well, do they? If you look at your grass, what does the grass look like? That's the first indicator. A lot of the grass is pretty brown unless you've been watering, and if that's brown, that ground for that tree is also suffering. Remember, the feeder roots for a tree are on the top foot of the soil. Well, if you got the grass fighting for the water that's coming and the tree fighting for the water that's coming, I wonder who's going to win out in this deal. Really the grass, because it's more shallow rooted. So please, if you got the time, don't be afraid to give them trees all a little drink. I know at my lake lot, I have two spruce trees in front of my place. One is a brilliant green, got a little more water last summer, fall, and the one on the right looking out from our place is really showing signs of stress. It doesn't have that nice bright dark green color like a normal spruce tree, and kind of the way it is. I've been watering this spring when I first noticed that, and I don't know that I'm going to have much luck. I might have been too late. It should have probably been done last fall. So give your trees a drink. Don't stone the hose over there, let it run for 2 minutes. That really doesn't do nothing. Put it over there. If you got one of them little round sprinklers, put it on near the tree and just let it run for hour and a half on each tree, and just get it through the summer season. Next thing up, I couldn't help but notice this morning as I was walking out to turn the water on my garden that my brekkie apple tree is in full bloom, and it is just gorgeously full of blooms coming on. So it's just a reminder of several things there. Number one, if you plant an apple tree or any kind of flowering tree, for example, and you want fruit, you want to make sure you read the label and see if it contains information that says you need to have a pollinator. Some trees do not, but most trees do need a pollinator. It could be another apple tree. could be another crabapple, it could be lots of different things. As long as there's pollen floating in the air, that'll help get that tree fired up. So when you're looking for trees, especially fruit trees, check the label, see if it needs a pollinator. The last one we'll talk about is aphids. I know it's too early for aphids yet, but we got a lot of people questioning what they need to do to eliminate the doo-doo that drops on your car in the middle of the summer. And of course, a lot of people are calling that other insects. One in particular is scale. If you look at branches, you can see a branch is looking tough. If you look on the main branch, you'll see tiny little bumps on it. That's scale. There's lots of different kinds of scale, but that's a scale and does this thing. That is not what creates the doo-doo on your car, that sticky stuff. It's aphids eating on the leaves, and then when they spew their body fluids and lands on your car, that's what that is that sticky stuff from aphids. But we can talk more about that later, but I just wanted to throw that out this morning because just this last week I had 3 questions about that, and we don't need to worry about that just yet. Well, again, I'd like to thank Mark's Greenhouse, Landscapes Unlimited, Leading Edge, and Monster Lawn support of this program. Way more so, thank Kurt, Paul, and the crew at Radio Works. They are very, very helpful in getting all this stuff put together. So again, if you need to call us, give us a call at 662-7027. Thanks, and have a great day, and we'll talk to you on Friday.